And in terms of your vision for Formula E as a leader, and I know you've been a leader and you were a
Yeah.
leader at Virgin Media as well, and I know you have
Mm.
plans and visions and like 5 3-year goals. So, what
Yeah.
is your vision at this precise moment for Formula E? What impact do you want to have on the series?
Look, so I think to answer that, Jack, you've got to break Formula E down into what it is, its component parts, because it's actually it's trying to do three things. So when it was born with three ambitions. Ambition one, and perhaps this is the reason most of the people who are listening to this will be interested in Formula E, but it was to create an elite world-class motor racing series. So that was its first vision, and for that world-class elite motor racing series to be all electric. But it also had a second vision, and that was to accelerate the migration towards battery electric vehicles. And to do that, it wanted to help take technology that was being built on the racetrack and get it back into road cars. So it was about a technology transfer ambition. And the third goal was to be net zero from day one, from day zero, and to be a platform to educate around the impact of climate change.
Yeah.
So it was trying to do three things. So I think to answer your question, which I'll do, I have to look at it through those three different lenses because they're all trying to do something slightly different. So let's start with climate change. So we've been net zero from day zero, rated the number one ESG sport in the world. And even though we sit right at the top of the pile in terms of sustainability, underpinning that, we still have a goal, a science-based target, to reduce our emissions by 45% between what was the end of season five and 2030. So we've got a big old goal in the space of reducing emissions and continuing to bang the drum and to educate around the world about the importance of climate change. So my vision in that space is to be one of the world's leading voices in the issue of climate change, but not just to talk about it, to prove to people that it can, and maybe we'll come on to questions later with this, but to prove
Yeah.
to people that even as a global motor racing series, we can do that on a fraction of the emissions and the carbon emissions that other organizations are running under. So that's one. In terms of tech transfer, so I can give you examples of Porsche, Nissan, Jaguar, all these amazing brands that are learning things on the track and then taking it from the track and putting it straight into their road cars. So my ambition in that space is to have a material impact on the speed of migration out of internal combustion engine into battery electric vehicle. And we believe we're having an impact because if I look in our fan base, the kind of desire and propensity to want to move to an electric vehicle is much higher than the general population. So that would be the second goal. And then maybe the cool bit and the bit that perhaps we'll talk a bit more about is racing, because that's we all love racing. And within that, my ambitions are first of all to grow the awareness of the sport and to grow the fan base. So our fan base now, we started the year at about 320 million fans around the world. As we're talking now, last time we looked, we were up to about 385 million, so nearly 400 million fans now around the world, so growing fast. Our reach, our TV audience around the world, growing by about 20 to 30% a year, so it's growing quickly. And the sentiment about what we are and who we are at Formula E is also growing around the areas of very exciting racing and being very innovative and driving technology. So I've got a plan with my team that by 2030, and I won't share all the details, but by 2030, we will have materially grown in the space of awareness, number of fans around the world, and number of people watching us through TV or via digital platforms or physically, but the number of people engaging us with us around the world will be much, much higher.